We can all get better at meetings. We have them all the time. And the thing is they're not going away. So our goal is to figure out how can we improve just a little bit. So I've got some tips and tricks I want to share with all of you out there who are meeting facilitators to figure out how do you run better meetings just in general. So first, always make sure you start that meeting 5 minutes later. We're all running between sessions. We're all going to one meeting to the next. And if we have to do that, let's be a hero for our participants. Let's give them a few minutes to make their way into our meeting and feel they've got a little bit of time to take a breather. That also allows you to start your meeting on time without having to wait for people to join. 2, make sure you fill out that description in the invite. I bet you if you look at your calendar right now, there's at least one meeting, my guess is a lot more than that have an empty description. Or maybe it's just the meeting information, like the Zoom information. Make sure you actually intentionally put a description in place. Fill it out. What are we trying to accomplish? List out that agenda. And a bonus on this one, make sure that the title of that meeting is impactful, that it's meaningful to your audience. Make sure you go in and actually create a meeting agenda. And I don't just mean putting it into the meeting invite, actually create a place for it. Maybe you're using a tool like Confluence. Go in there, use the meeting agenda template that we have actually out there in the tool and actually fill it out. What's the goal of the session? What are the topics we're going to cover? Who's going to talk about them? How long are we going to spend on those topics? Build in time for material review. This is a practice that Atlassian follows and I absolutely love. And it's the idea that, let's say you have a Confluence page with some pre-read material. We all know that people who get pre-read material typically don't read it. Maybe you get half, and even those half, they may have skimmed it through. I know I have in the past. What you do instead is you actually set aside time in your agenda, maybe the first 15 minutes, and you say, this is our time to read through that pre-read material. Actually have them say in Confluence, comment on the areas you have questions on or things you'd like to talk about more. This guarantees that everyone actually goes through the content. And it actually guarantees that people actually spend time on it versus saying, oh, I just skimmed it. Then what you can do is set aside time in your agenda afterwards to talk about questions or comments that came up. Instead of just going through and reading the document again or asking for questions, you're actually spending time on what people commented on in the document. It's a phenomenal activity to really get people to engage in the content. One tip I have out there is a little bit radical, but I'm a firm believer in it. Put everyone as optional on your meeting. Don't put anyone as required. As a facilitator, as an owner for a meeting, it is my job to convince you, my participant, to actually join in on that meeting. When I add you to that invite, it's not a requirement that you're there. You have to read through my agenda. You have to look at my invitation and say, yeah, this is worth my time. The thing is if you pick the right attendees and you have a compelling message, the right people are going to come. That gives the ownership back to the people to be there. And it actually requires you, the facilitator, to actually create a very impactful meeting. Again, it kind of pushes you outside your comfort zone, but I encourage you to try it out. And finally, determine if you actually need a meeting. We've got some great graphics here at Atlassian that can kind of share with you kind of that decision tree. Should I have a meeting or not? And honestly, in your world, create your own kind of decision tree. Determine if that meeting is there so that you can make a decision, or maybe you just want to share information. Determine why you need to have this meeting and really ask yourself, do I need this? And then if you say yes, ask yourself one more time. All right, do I really, really need this meeting? People will appreciate it if you find unique and clever ways to get them to collaborate on material that doesn't necessarily involve having to get people together. Thank you all for watching these videos and engaging in the content. If you need a little extra help, contact us at this email address, and our Ways of Working Atlassian team, which we call Dr. Wow, they can come in and actually spend some time with you, analyze your meetings, help you actually formulate a good agenda, and help you reach that better meetings utopia that we're all hoping for. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you later.